Hi everyone, welcome back to the Node.js series. And in this lecture, I am going to explain you about the Node.js architecture, how Node internally works. Okay, so I have created this diagram where you can see flow from the client request and how response went to the client. Okay, so here you can see that client send some request to the internal architecture of the Node.js. So initially request comes to the event queue. Okay, so this is the first place when request is received from the Node.js architecture, which is the event queue. It contains the list of events, right? And there is event loop is kind of a watcher upon the event queue who always watches the new events from the event queue and pull the event based on the first in first out based FIFO concept. Okay, so in our request, there may be two kind of operation, either non-blocking operation, which is known as a asynchronous operation, and another type is blocking operation, which is a synchronous operations. So we have the different way to handle both kind of operations. So non-blocking operations mean asynchronous operation is handled by the async API and it returns the callback queue to the event loop. Okay, and event loop returns the response to the client. Okay, we will see the some examples practically of non-blocking operation and blocking operation. So this is the way how the non-blocking operations handled by the Node.js, and the blocking operation is handled like there is a thread pool, right? Thread pool, right, where we have the number of threads of pool. So one thread is assigned to that particular operation. Once it process, it send to the result, and result send to a uh, event loop, right? Using the worker thread. So this is the complete flow from request to response. I know it is a little bit difficult to understand, but you always need to remember some key points when you want to understand the architecture. There are some key terms is event queue, event loop, right? Callback queue, thread pool, worker thread. So these are the important concept in interview as well. Like what is a event queue? Event queue is the combination of events which is received from the client. Okay, and it it stores the data in terms of first in first out, right? First come first out, right? And same event loop is a kind of a watcher upon the event queue who pull the event, right? And it distinguishes into two path, blocking operation and non-blocking operation, and we have the various terms to handle the blocking operation and non-blocking operations. Okay, so this was the entire way how the Node.js internally handles the request and finally returns the response to the client. I have also written this into the Word so that it is easy to understand. So here you can see like request comes from the client, right? Request come from the client and is added to the event queue, right? Very simple. After that, event loop peak one event from the queue. Got it? And there may be two kind of operation, either non-blocking, that is asynchronous, blocking, that is synchronous, right? If non-blocking operations handled by the async API, right? And result goes to the callback queue and back to the event loop, all right? And in terms of blocking operations, it's sent to a thread pool and worker thread process it and return the result to the event loop. Okay, and finally event loop send response back to the client. So this is the all about how the Node.js work internally. Okay, so I have also written some theoretical portion about this structure in simple explanation. You can read there. I will share this GitHub link in my YouTube description. Okay, so let us go uh, let us go quickly to the VS Code to understand blocking operation and non-blocking operation, right? Which is very important. So I'm using the same kind of directory for all the Node.js program, and here I have created one data folder. Under the data I have created one txt file, detailed txt file, where I have entered the name, address, right? And now I'm going to create another file like arc.js to understand the blocking and non-blocking operations. So first I am going to import one module that is known as FS module. We will discuss more about this module in upcoming videos, but for this video I will explain you in brief. So FS module is used to read and write the files right from your directory. So I am going to import this file fs from fs. All right. Okay, so once you are writing this program, you may get one error when you run your application. So to resolve that problem, you will need to enter one setting in your package.json, that is a type module. By default, Node does not support the module programming, right? Either you will need to write the syntax in a required format. Yeah, we will discuss more about this as well, or if you want to use the ES module approach, then you will need to add this type as a module. Okay, so now we have added. First, let me give you example of blocking code that is known as a synchronous code. Synchronous code. So for example, I am writing here console.log 1. Okay, and after that I am const data equal to fs read. I am going to read this file. Okay, and my path is here. I have data folder. Under the data folder I have detail.txt. Okay, so this is some code, right? First we are doing some operation, then we are reading the file, and then we are printing the data from the file, and then we are writing another things. So okay let me run this program node here. Okay, just a second. Just a second. Not sure what is happening. That is a data. Oh, there is a detail.txt, and that is it. But not sure why it is not. Yeah. All right. So here you can see that first it is printing one. Okay. After that it reads the data from detail.txt and then printed it two. Yeah. It means it is working step by step. In real example, you can take like making the tea. Okay, first you need to boil the wet water, then you put inside tea, right? After that you need to put the milk, and then finally your final product tea will be ready, right? It means step by step process. Okay, that is known as a blocking code, synchronous code. Until one process is not completed, another will not be completed, another will not be started, right? Now I am going to take another example of non-blocking code. Okay, so here non-blocking code or operations. Okay, console.log 1, and here I am going to do this. I am going to do fs.read file, which is very fast. Okay, I am printing console.log data, and here I am printing console.log 2. Alright, save. Let me run again this program and see the difference. Alright, so here you can see that it is executed first. Second, it call, right? A async API call is happened back to the callback queue, right? It went to the callback, and finally this callback returned to the what? Where? Event loop, right? And meanwhile, it not wait for this response, it went to the another line. So here you can see 1 2 and round. So so this is a good practice that you always write the non-blocking code, because we have not number of worker, right? Worker threads. There are only the limited threads in our operating system, right? If you have the CPU, so there are some commands which by which you can check that how many threads can be created, right? So but always this is the best practice that you write the non-blocking code to give the pressure on the main thread. Okay, so this is the way how blocking code and non-blocking code works. Okay, and yeah, and this is the internal structure how the things works in a node.js. So the conclusion of this video, you will be able to map like how request comes, how internally process, and how to generate the response to the client. And you have seen the blocking and non-blocking operations. Okay, so that's all for this video. Please do like, subscribe, and comment, and share this video, and click on the notification icon if you like such kind of video. Thank you very much.